Have you noticed how weak people are enslaved by their own reactions? Look around you. The world is filled with emotional puppets. These are men and women who hand the remote control of their mind to anyone who walks by. A rude comment from a stranger? They explode. A passive-aggressive text from a coworker? They lose a whole day to anxiety. Someone cuts them off in traffic? They risk their lives in a fit of road rage. They react instantly, mechanically, and predictably. But then there are the rare few, the unshakable fortresses. When these individuals are insulted, they do not blink. When they are provoked, they do not flinch. They view provocation not as an attack on their character, but as a test of their own sovereignty. They possess a power the common man cannot comprehend, the power of the pause. Today, we are going to learn how to build that fortress. We are going to dismantle the illusion that reacting is strength, and we are going to apply the ancient wisdom of Stoicism to make you impervious to the noise of the world. To understand how to stay calm, you must first understand the game that is being played against you. When someone tries to provoke you, whether it is an overt insult or a subtle jab, they are not actually communicating. They are fishing. They are casting a hook into the water, waiting to see if you will bite. Most people bite. They believe that clapping back or defending their honor is a display of strength. They think, I cannot let him get away with saying that. So they yell, they argue, they type out the furious paragraph. But this is a lie. This is counterintuitive strength. In the eyes of the Stoic, reaction is submission. The moment you lose your temper, you have lost the engagement. Why? Because you have just proven that you value the provoker's opinion. You have proven that their words have the power to alter your internal chemistry, to raise your blood pressure, and to disrupt your spirit. Think about the dynamics of power. The king does not scream at the peasant who throws a rock at the castle walls. The king does not lower the drawbridge to engage in a fistfight in the mud. The king remains on the throne. When you react, you are climbing down from the throne. You are telling the provoker, you are my equal. You have access to my emotions. The sovereign mind understands that silence is the loudest form of disrespect. By doing nothing, by refusing to engage with the chaos, you become a mirror. You force the provoker to stand alone in the room with their own toxicity. You reflect their behavior back to them, and without your reaction to fuel their fire, their anger dissolves into awkwardness. We are not the first to deal with difficult people. 2,000 years ago, the most powerful man in the world faced betrayals and provocations that would crush the modern mind. Marcus Aurelius, the Emperor of Rome. He was a man who could have had anyone executed with a snap of his fingers. Yet he was surrounded by schemers, ungrateful citizens, and political enemies. How did he maintain his sanity? He anchored himself in a single, profound truth. He wrote in his personal journal, Meditations. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Let that sink in. When someone acts like a barbarian, screaming, lying, trying to get a rise out of you, and you respond with anger, you have just become a barbarian. You have lowered your vibration to match theirs. You have allowed their disease to infect your soul. Marcus Aurelius understood that bad behavior is a product of ignorance and internal suffering. A happy, well-adjusted person has no desire to provoke others. Only the miserable seek to spread misery. Therefore, when you are provoked, you must look at the person not as a monster, but as a victim of their own flawed character. They are showing you their wounds. If you are walking down the street and a madman screams at the sky, do you scream back? No, you view it as tragic noise. You keep walking. You stay anchored in your own reality. You do not adopt their pathology. As the emperor said, do not be like that. Now let's move from philosophy to the deep psychological mechanics of why this works. We need to cross the emotional logic bridge. On the surface level, people tell you to stay calm because it's the polite thing to do or because fighting is bad. This is weak advice. It doesn't work when your blood is boiling. You need a stronger reason. You need to understand that this is about self-respect, not politeness. Visualize your mind as a kingdom. Your inner peace is the treasure inside the vault. Every day, barbarians will come to the gates. They will bang on the doors. They will shout insults. If you open the gates every time a barbarian shouts, Your kingdom will be sacked. You will have no peace, no treasure, and no sanctuary. Staying calm is the act of keeping the drawbridge raised. It is the realization that your peace is too expensive to be bought with cheap words. When you refuse to get angry, you are saying, "My internal world is more important than your external noise." This is the ultimate act of self-love. You are protecting your energy because you know it is limited and precious. This isn't about being passive or a doormat. It requires immense strength to feel the surge of anger and choose, consciously, to let it pass. It is the difference between a wildfire that burns everything down and a controlled flame that powers a steam engine. One destroys, the other creates. The Stoic channels their energy. They do not spill it. Another tool in the Stoic arsenal is the view from above. When we are provoked, it feels like the most important thing in the world. Our ego screams that this insult is a catastrophe. But is it? Stoicism teaches us to zoom out. Look at your life on the timeline of eternity. Look at the provoker on the scale of the universe. In 100 years, you will be dead. The person provoking you will be dead. No one will remember this argument. No one will care who was right or who had the last word. The dust will cover both of you equally. When you adopt this perspective, the provocation becomes trivial. It shrinks. It loses its weight. Why sacrifice your mental health today for something that will be forgotten tomorrow? Epictetus, the slave-turned-philosopher, taught us that we are not disturbed by things, but by the views we take of them. The insult itself is just sound waves moving through the air. It is neutral. It only becomes painful when your mind interprets it as an insult. If you refuse to accept the interpretation, the insult disappears. It has no landing pad. Imagine someone throws a burning coal at you. If you catch it to throw it back, you are the one who gets burned. If you step aside, the coal hits the ground and burns itself out. Step aside, let it hit the ground. So how do we apply this in the heat of the moment? When the boss is yelling, or the partner is picking a fight, or the internet troll is attacking? You follow the Stoic protocol. Step 1, the pause. When the provocation hits, do not speak, do not type, do not act. Force a delay, take a deep breath. This pause breaks the automatic circuit of the emotional puppet. It buys your rational mind time to boot up. Step 2, the dissection. Ask yourself, is this true? If the insult is true, then accept it as feedback and improve. Why get angry at the truth? If the insult is false, then it is a lie. And why should you be offended by a lie? It has nothing to do with you. It is merely a reflection of the liar's confusion. By dissecting the attack, you strip it of its emotional power. Step 3, the mirror. Respond with silence or a calm, indifferent question. If someone insults you, simply look at them and ask, "Are you okay?" Or, "Is that all?" This flips the script. It highlights their lack of control. You remain the sovereign, they remain the child throwing a tantrum. Becoming a Stoic doesn't mean you become a robot without feelings. It means you become a master of your feelings rather than a slave to them. It takes practice. You will fail, you will get angry. But each time you are provoked, you have a new opportunity to practice. Each annoyance is a rep in the gym of character. When you master this, you become dangerous. Not physically dangerous, but metaphysically dangerous. People will sense that they cannot shake you. They will sense that you are anchored in something deeper than social approval. You become an unshakable fortress. The next time the world tries to shake you, the next time someone tries to hand you that hook, do not bite. Radiate silence. Protect your kingdom. And remember the law of the emperor. The best revenge is not to be like that. Watch their anger fade while your strength endures. This is the way of the Stoic.